My name is Janet, and if you had met me years ago, you would not have seen a future. You would have seen a girl carrying hunger on her head and shame in her eyes. Some people are born into families. Others are born into survival. I was born into red dust, the kind that settles on your feet, your clothes, and slowly on your dreams. In my village in Enugu, they used to call me the girl with the empty basket. Not because I liked the name, but because emptiness followed me everywhere I went. My parents Chika and Neka were good people. They didn't have money, but they had love. And for a while love felt like enough. Until death came. Not gently, not one at a time, but swiftly, cruelly. And within 1 year I became an orphan. The village didn't gather to lift me. They gathered to look at me. Some shook their heads. Some whispered. Some reminded me every single day that poverty had chosen me. I was still a child, but grief aged me faster than time ever could. I left for Akka believing the lie that cities save people. I thought the streets would shine. They didn't. They were paved with hunger. Before the sun woke up, I was already awake. Bread on my head. Pure water in my hands. Hope thinning by the day. Pure water. Cold water. Buy your bread. I shouted until my voice cracked. Until my throat burned. Until my childhood disappeared. Men didn't see a girl trying to survive. They saw an opportunity. Emeka, Chuka, men who circled me like vultures. They didn't want my bread. They wanted my silence. One rainy Tuesday they blocked my path near the old market wall. Their laughter smelled like danger. I ran. My slippers snapped. I fell into the gutter. And just when their hands reached for me, a car horn screamed. A man stepped out. Tall. Well-dressed. Looking like prayer answered. I thought God had sent an angel. Chief Okoro took me into his house. Warm water. Clean clothes. Jollof rice. For the first time in years, I slept without fear. But safety that comes without truth often leaves deeper wounds. That night my body was taken. My innocence traded for dirty money. My silence purchased with threats. When I left that house, I didn't feel alive. I felt erased. And weeks later, I realized I was carrying more than pain. I was pregnant. The world laughed louder. Street girl. Single mother. But when my son was born, when I held Samson in my arms, something shifted. His fingers wrapped around mine, and I knew I could not afford to die. I moved to Onitsha, found a daycare that barely stood, and made a vow. My son would never carry bread on his head. I returned to school. I studied under streetlights, read books in moving traffic, sat in lecture halls with borrowed chairs and tired eyes. God didn't send miracles. He sent mercies. Small mercies. A security man who unlocked the library late at night. A woman who gave me yam when she saw me crying. An old woman who once said, "My daughter, God has not forgotten you." I held those words like oxygen, and slowly, the girl disappeared. Years later I wore a white coat. They called me doctor. One evening, an emergency patient arrived. Old, weak, alone. It was him, Chief Okoro. When he saw my name tag, he broke. He begged. He offered wealth. He asked my son to carry his name. Samson stood tall beside me. I will never forgive him, Mama. And I understood. But I chose freedom. I forgive you, I said. Not for you, but for me. Today I stand healed. The streets tried to break me, but they forged me. Poverty tried to bury me, but I was a seed. The Bible says, "When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up." Psalm 27 verse 10. I am Janet. I was hunted, but now I am honored. Because what grace picks up, no man can cast down.